there really is a problem with the religious omission of the feminine. It's not that the sacred information of religion is somehow bad or not part of feminism. The sacred divine masculine is essential. Those teachings that support the masculine is are sacred, as sacred as they seem. But the omission of the feminine and making her bad, like not equal, sinful, in so many religions. I just met a lady yesterday. We were taking a walk, this wonderful woman, and she's like, I can't believe it. My body can move. I'm out of pain. I said, what happened? And she said, well, I was in a religious cult my whole life, and the belief was that we women are just not adequate. We're not okay. We're sinful. We are the problem. We're dirty. Our sexuality is dangerous. Like she said, it was such a bombardment. She said, I never felt okay as a human being. I never felt I had equal rights. So when I got really sick, I didn't really feel like I had the right to get out of pain. I didn't find any help until I left that religion. And then suddenly I was able to leave the doctor who kept telling me there was no cure and find a cure. And immediately I guess she had, this torturous pain that was really a simple cure. But that's what happens all over the world when you think that you're not born in the image of God, goddess, all that is. You don't feel you have equal rights, and there's always this pain of like the women of India, the widows who are treated like slaves that should be discarded once their husband dies. It's all about economics, really. They just don't want to be able to have to support that one more mouth to feed, so that they'll send these women off to these convents in India to have no life anymore and to be servants and to be unlovable or prostitutes. That's all connected to their religion in India, how the woman is to serve the man and the male god, or else she's worthless. And you have this, all these religions, like even Buddhism, that's supposed to be so hippy-dippy, like and you have these beautiful traditions of Buddhism, these beautiful people with some real wisdom about non-attachment and such. But then you have the whole lore of the religion about Buddha comes from a rib, not a vagina. He leaves his family, and that's okay. And because he's being enlightened, so he can just dump all of his children, and he denies the three goddesses to show that he's not tempted by feminine sexuality, and that makes him enlightened. The whole story is about hatred of the feminine. And then you have what happens from the story is that in Buddhism, the women cannot be monks. They're not allowed to, and actually they can be servants to the monks. They can wear gray and serve them all day. And the monk boys are told the feminine is evil and dirty and disgusting, and everything revolting is feminine. Well, why? So that they can keep the boys in line as monks without their sexuality overtaking them. But they didn't think about the thought that you don't have to scare people about the feminine in order to have an equal church or religion where the boys could take turns serving the women, and so the women could meditate also. They could have separate monasteries where they're not together. The whole idea that you've got to make somebody the slave and somebody the bad one in order to keep people in line is a very fearful thought. And as a dyslexic person who was, bombarded with the pressure to think in a certain way, the feeling I had was they were taking a hammer to my brain and just smashing it to bits. Because dyslexic people see everything as a whole, every single situation as a whole. So boys who are dyslexic are going to be way more femininely connected because their whole brains are engaged the way women's are. Everything is a whole. So what they would do is they would smash my brain into bits and hand me back the shards and say, see, now focus on this. This is what's supposed to make sense. And of course, the piece broken off from the whole makes no sense. Only the whole makes sense. So, oh my God, why was I talking about that? I'm sorry. Okay, that's the feminine downside of the feminine brain. It goes in some big circle where all roads are connected. When I go out with my daughter and we get lost, and she's always like, Mom, use the GPS or something, and I'll be like, my battery died, and anyway, all roads connect. It's all a circle. It's not always true. Sometimes you go a long way in the wrong direction. Anyway, sorry about that. Much love to you. Love life. Can't remember what I was talking about. Oh, religion. That's what it was. So, the thing is, the benefit of the woman feeling like her sexuality matters, that her femininity is good, is that the women then, they start to enjoy sex. They start to enjoy their own pleasure. They start to trust themselves. They start to take care of themselves better. And when they do, like this woman, she was in so much pain. She could barely take care of her family. That pain that became physicalized started in the spirit as a little girl being told the painful lie that you don't matter as much as boys, and you're not as sacred, and you're dirty. That does any spiritual thought, any thought that's a toxic thought will affect us in the spirit to such a level where our bodies start to respond. So the fear of like letting the feminine be this powerful, beautiful, equal thing to men, even more important than the masculine, because she's got to guide us to the heart. All those fears of what will happen are not to be feared, because even if the woman were to become a wild thing and really, really sexual, she would still make a lot of people happy. And the real truth is that countries where women are more promiscuous are the peaceful ones, and the countries where the women are in the jail of absolute rigid morality around their sexuality, those are the ones that are all warring, trying to control their woman as their property. So, we just need to let the religious thing kind of like sift down all the lies. The lies, it's the omission of the sacred feminine that has destroyed the true temple of every religion out there. Because the feminine existed in the beginning of any one of these religions with a true prophet. There would have been the feminine and the masculine together in their counterparts, in their different needs and their different sacred energies and wisdoms. So it's just the fact that it's been so contorted where the feminine has been taken out of the picture, where Buddha's,